Many wait their entire lives for a blessing to fall from the sky, yet few realize the moment it already passed them by. Today, I will share a truth rarely spoken outside disciplined circles. In Shaolin philosophy, heaven never rewards wishful thinking. Heaven responds to alignment. When the mind is scattered, effort leaks away. When values conflict with actions, wealth dissolves before it arrives. This video reveals why financial growth never begins with money, but with order. Order in thought, order in habit, order in intention. Ancient Shaolin teachings explain that heaven represents natural law, not chance. When life feels blocked, it signals misalignment, not punishment. Through years of training, I witnessed students chase prosperity through force, shortcuts, and desperation, only to return exhausted. Those who trained awareness, restraint, and clarity attracted opportunity without pursuit. In this video, you will learn how readiness creates access, why discipline outperforms desire, and how small internal shifts open external doors. These principles remain absent from popular financial advice, yet they shaped resilient warriors, stable communities, and enduring success across centuries. Stay until the end because the final insight ties awareness, money, and responsibility into one decisive practice that changes behavior immediately. This message carries no superstition and no promises of instant gain. It offers mastery. When the mind stands still, action becomes precise. When action aligns with values, results multiply naturally. This lesson may sound simple, yet few apply it consistently and fewer understand its depth. Stillness does not require long hours. It requires sincerity. And within Shaolin training, we learn early that awareness arrives in brief windows, not extended performances. The 7 minutes spoken of are not a countdown, but a gate. A moment when the mind is no longer running ahead or clinging to the past. In the temple, a master may correct a student in a single breath, and that correction reshapes years of training. Presence works the same way. When attention becomes complete, direction resets naturally. Many believe transformation demands exhaustion, yet exhaustion often dulls judgment. Short, focused practice sharpens it. This is why Shaolin training emphasizes quality over quantity. One mindful stance practiced with full attention carries more power than hours of careless repetition. The same law applies to life and money. A few minutes of calm awareness before a decision can prevent years of unnecessary struggle. Financial behavior rarely changes through force. It changes through seeing clearly. I have observed students who pause briefly before spending, reacting, or committing, and that pause alone altered their future. They were no longer obeying impulse, they were responding with intention. In those minutes, the mind becomes honest. It notices fear disguised as urgency and desire disguised as need. When clarity appears, discipline follows without resistance. This is why a small moment of awareness can redirect an entire path. Not because the moment is magical, but because it interrupts unconscious patterns. Once a pattern is seen, it loses control. Wealth, stability, and progress emerge from these interruptions. They are not built in dramatic moments, but in quiet pauses where attention returns to its rightful place. Training the mind to recognize these windows is itself mastery. Chaos rarely announces its origin. It appears first in small habits, scattered attention, and restless emotion. Ancient Shaolin teaching observes that the outer world is a reflection, not a cause. When life feels unstable, the mind has already lost its center. Financial disorder often begins long before numbers decline. It starts with emotional impulses left unchecked, a purchase made to escape discomfort, a decision rushed to silence fear, a risk taken to satisfy impatience. These moments seem harmless, yet they form patterns. Over time, patterns harden into outcomes. In training halls, masters correct posture before power because force applied from imbalance creates injury. Money follows the same law. Action taken from emotional imbalance produces fragile results. When the mind becomes calm, decisions lose excess weight. They grow simple, direct, and proportionate. Calm does not remove ambition, it refines it. A steady mind recognizes difference between opportunity and temptation. Desperation narrows vision. Clarity expands it. Many chase financial relief with urgency, believing speed equals progress. In truth, urgency clouds perception and invites error. Discipline teaches restraint, not as limitation, but as protection. When attention is stable, choices align with long-term benefit rather than short-term relief. Ancient practitioners understood that wealth is not something to pursue, but something that accumulates around order. Where thoughts are structured, actions follow clean lines. Where actions are consistent, results stabilize. Money responds to clarity because clarity reduces waste. It prevents repetition of mistakes. It preserves energy. Over time, calm decisions compound quietly. No drama is required. No force is needed. Just alignment between intention and action. Inner mastery is not withdrawal from life, but participation without turbulence. When the mind is governed, life organizes itself. Financial stability then becomes a symptom, not a goal. Discipline rarely draws attention, yet it carries the greatest weight. In ancient training, discipline was never treated as punishment or severity. It was taught as loyalty to one's future self. Wealth grows from this quiet loyalty. Not from dramatic sacrifice, but from consistent restraint practiced without complaint. Extreme control breaks the spirit. Consistent restraint strengthens it. A hand that knows when to close also knows when to release. In Shaolin tradition, daily training is not performed to summon miracles. It is done to build reliability. The body learns to respond. The mind learns to remain steady. This same reliability governs money. When effort is applied regularly, progress becomes predictable. When spending is intentional, waste dissolves naturally. Restraint is not denial. It is choice made in advance. Saving then becomes a form of respect. Effort becomes measured, not scattered. Many misunderstand discipline as force imposed from fear. Ancient wisdom teaches the opposite. True discipline arises from understanding consequence. When the mind sees clearly, restraint requires no struggle. It becomes the simplest option. Monks train each day whether motivation is present or not. Over time, training removes dependence on mood. Financial stability follows the same principle. When habits are consistent, outcomes stabilize. One does not need constant excitement or pressure. Small, repeated actions carry more power than rare bursts of intensity. Discipline keeps momentum alive during ordinary days. It protects progress when emotion fluctuates. Money responds to this steadiness because it thrives in predictable systems. Chaos repels accumulation. Reliability attracts opportunity. Those who master restraint gain freedom, not limitation. They act deliberately, spend consciously, and direct effort where it compounds. In this way, discipline becomes invisible wealth long before it becomes visible results. Life offers no separate space for training. Training is embedded in each ordinary moment. In ancient disciplines, a practitioner learns that every movement either refines awareness or weakens it. The same is true with money. Every purchase, every delay, every commitment is a quiet exercise in attention. When actions are taken unconsciously, energy leaks away unnoticed. Money follows the same path. It disappears not through one large mistake, but through many small, unobserved ones. Mindfulness seals these leaks. It slows the hand just long enough for the mind to return. In that pause, choice replaces habit. Awareness transforms routine actions into deliberate practice. Paying, waiting, or committing becomes a test of alignment rather than impulse. Ancient teachers understood that mastery is not proven in rare challenges, but in repeated simplicity. A practitioner who remains attentive during mundane tasks builds strength that appears effortless. Financial clarity develops the same way. Small decisions made with presence begin to stack quietly. A mindful delay prevents unnecessary spending. A conscious commitment protects future energy. Over time, these moments compound, shaping behavior and outcome together. Discipline then becomes less about control and more about remembrance. Remembering purpose, remembering direction. When awareness is present, effort becomes efficient. Waste diminishes naturally. The mind no longer chases stimulation or relief through consumption. Instead, it responds to genuine need. This shift does not require dramatic change. It requires consistency. Each small decision reinforces the next. Gradually, habits align with values. The ordinary becomes refined. What once seemed insignificant reveals its weight. In ancient training halls, sweeping the floor was never treated as a lesser task. It was a mirror for the mind. In the same way, financial mastery is revealed in how one handles the smallest choices. Through attention, the simple becomes powerful. Fear speaks quickly, but it rarely speaks truth. In ancient practice, fear was not treated as an enemy, but as a signal of lost balance. When decisions are made under its influence, they carry hidden cost. What seems urgent demands immediate relief, yet relief gained through panic often produces long-term loss. Shaolin philosophy trains action without haste. Movement is precise, measured, and rooted. Even in moments of pressure, the breath remains steady. This steadiness protects judgment. Urgency narrows attention. It fixes the mind on escape rather than direction. Calm expands awareness, revealing options unseen by a restless mind. Financial choices shaped by fear tend to sacrifice tomorrow for comfort today. A hurried investment, an unnecessary commitment, a reaction disguised as opportunity. These actions feel necessary in the moment, yet weaken stability over time. Ancient masters taught that fear dissolves when attention returns to the present. In stillness, the mind recognizes what is essential and what is noise. Letting go of fear does not mean avoiding risk. It means refusing to act from imbalance. Stability grows where decisions are grounded. Money, like water, settles where the container is steady. Panic creates cracks. Calm holds form. When fear no longer drives behavior, actions align with long-term purpose. Trust replaces urgency. Patience replaces impulse. Over time, this composure attracts consistency. Opportunities approach those who do not chase them in desperation. Discipline then becomes effortless. The mind responds instead of reacts. In ancient training, practitioners were taught to remain unmoved by sudden force. Financial life follows the same principle. When fear loosens its grip, clarity returns. From clarity, stability naturally forms. Responsibility begins the moment excuses fall silent. In ancient teachings, blame was seen as a form of blindness. When timing, people, or fate are accused, attention is pulled outward and power leaks away. Nothing changes where responsibility is absent. Shaolin discipline teaches that mastery starts with ownership of every outcome, pleasant or painful. This ownership is not harsh, it is clarifying. When responsibility is accepted, the mind stops waiting and starts acting. Power returns because direction returns. Financial growth often stalls, not from lack of opportunity, but from scattered accountability. Excuses soften discomfort, yet they prolong it. Each justification delays correction. When excuses end, learning accelerates. Patterns become visible. Habits can be adjusted. Ancient practitioners believed that heaven does not reward innocence, but sincerity. Heaven, as natural law, responds when self-deception dissolves. Blaming fate creates distance between cause and effect. Taking responsibility closes that distance. It reveals where effort was inconsistent, where restraint weakened, where awareness faded. This honesty can be uncomfortable, yet it restores control. With responsibility, actions align more quickly with intention. Energy stops being spent on explanation and redirects into execution. Money responds to this shift because it thrives where systems are refined. Growth accelerates when feedback is received without resistance. In training halls, correction is welcomed because it sharpens skill. Financial life follows the same principle. When responsibility replaces blame, progress becomes measurable. Each mistake becomes instruction rather than burden. Heaven opens not as reward but as response. When self-deception closes, clarity enters. From clarity comes adjustment. From adjustment comes stability. This is the quiet power of responsibility. Moral clarity was never treated as decoration in ancient practice. It was structural. Shaolin wisdom teaches that intention shapes outcome long before action appears. When integrity weakens, results may arrive quickly, but they arrive unstable. Money gained without alignment carries hidden cost. It disturbs sleep, erodes trust, and demands constant defense. What is taken without clarity cannot be held with peace. Clean intention, however, creates a different rhythm. It builds trust quietly, without announcement. Opportunities grow where reliability is felt. In ancient communities, reputation traveled faster than skill. A person known for ethical conduct was invited into long partnerships. The same law governs modern wealth. Shortcuts compress time but expand risk. They trade longevity for immediacy. Shaolin training rejects this trade. Progress is meant to endure. Alignment between values and action removes friction from effort. When intention is clean, energy flows without resistance. Decisions become simpler. Doubt fades. Wealth that lasts is not the result of clever strategy alone, but of consistent alignment. Integrity protects progress during difficult seasons. It preserves relationships when pressure rises. It allows growth without internal conflict. Ancient practitioners understood that what is built in disorder requires constant repair. What is built in clarity maintains itself. Money responds to this stability. It remains where trust exists. Longevity follows those who resist compromise for speed. Ethical intention may seem invisible, yet its effects compound silently. Over time, aligned action attracts aligned opportunity. There is no need to chase or conceal. When shortcuts are abandoned, focus sharpens. Wealth then becomes an extension of character rather than a contradiction. This is why moral clarity is not optional, it is foundational. The mind that chases is a mind that contracts. Desire narrows attention, sharpening focus only on what is sought while blinding itself to what is already present. In Shaolin practice, rushing after an outcome is recognized as a form of tension, one that distorts perception and invites error. True receptivity comes from training, from learning to observe without grasping. A disciplined mind holds still, watches carefully, and waits. In this stillness, opportunity reveals itself quietly. Doors that appear ordinary to the impatient are seen clearly by the attentive. A trader may pass by a subtle shift in the market. A student may overlook a teacher's subtle instruction. The untrained eye sees only what it expects. The trained mind sees what is offered. Awareness is not frantic scanning. It is calm presence. Each moment becomes a lesson in recognition. Stillness sharpens senses that chasing dulls. In the temple, a novice learns to sense the center of a falling tree before moving. The movement is precise because perception is complete. Wealth behaves in the same way. When attention is calm, small signals of opportunity are noticed and acted upon naturally. Anxiety narrows vision, forcing reactive choices. Clarity expands it, allowing action to align with timing, context, and long-term benefit. Training the mind is not an abstract exercise. It is preparation for life's subtle openings. A quiet observer finds alignment where others see only chance. Even a single moment of calm awareness can reveal patterns overlooked for years. Stillness does not delay progress. It positions the mind to respond with precision, to step into opportunity when it is fully understood, and to conserve energy where effort would be wasted. In this way, mastery of perception precedes mastery of outcome, and the doors to abundance open silently to those who have cultivated patience, awareness, and restraint. Impatience disguises itself as ambition, yet it carries hidden danger. Decisions made in haste often seem urgent, yet their consequences stretch far beyond the moment. Shaolin masters teach that mastery is not measured by immediate results, but by years of consistent practice, each day building upon the last. Wealth follows the same principle. Quick gains may glitter, but they lack foundation. True abundance grows slowly, like a tree whose roots are hidden beneath the soil. These roots, discipline, awareness, and restraint, anchor progress against storms of circumstance. Patience is not passive waiting. It is deliberate pacing, an active cultivation of timing, attention, and persistence. Small actions, repeated daily, accumulate quietly, compounding like interest until their effects become undeniable. Those who understand this principle avoid the temptations of shortcuts and impulsive risk. They know that effort invested steadily returns in ways that haste cannot produce. In ancient training halls, a student is corrected dozens of times before a movement becomes second nature. Each repetition is unnoticed by the untrained eye, yet it forms the foundation of skill that lasts a lifetime. Financial life mirrors this teaching. Investments, habits, and decisions made with care build resilience, reducing vulnerability to sudden change or error. Rushing erodes structure. Patience strengthens it. Over decades, small, disciplined choices multiply into results that surprise even the one who sowed them. The slow path may appear unremarkable at first, yet it preserves progress and cultivates confidence. Impulsive effort may burn brightly for a moment, but it fades quickly. Steady patience endures. Those who learn to wait, to respect timing, and to act with measured intent discover that wealth is not fleeting. It compounds silently, anchored by the discipline and foresight that only time can cultivate. True transformation begins quietly within the mind. External circumstances do not spark change, they reflect it. Shaolin masters understood that mastery starts with internal alignment, not external pressure. When habits shift, outcomes follow naturally, like water finding the path of least resistance. One does not need sudden fortune or dramatic events to alter a life. The subtle rearrangement of thought, attention, and action carries far greater force. Discipline, repetition, and conscious choice accumulate beneath the surface, imperceptible to the impatient observer, yet unstoppable over time. A student who adjusts posture, breath, and focus in the hall may appear unchanged to others, yet movement, strength, and awareness grow steadily. Financial life operates under the same law. When spending, saving, and effort are guided by deliberate habit rather than reaction, results arise without struggle. There is no need to chase signs or wait for luck. The world responds naturally to consistent practice. Daily attentiveness compounds quietly. Decisions once made impulsively become intentional. Errors once repeated are corrected with ease. Small shifts, unnoticed in a single moment, compound into lasting outcomes. This is the power of internal adjustment. It replaces expectation with action, chaos with clarity. Those who wait for external permission or dramatic alignment waste time, energy, and opportunity. Those who cultivate consistency cultivate life itself. In ancient training, the quiet repetition of forms, the measured steps of meditation, and the patient correction of posture were the invisible engine of mastery. Similarly, subtle internal adjustment in thought and habit shapes external reality. Change, when it comes from within, does not demand attention. It arrives naturally, inevitably, like the sunrise after a night of stillness. The mind aligned, the habits refined, and the action steady, then life inevitably begins to mirror the clarity that has been cultivated. The financial blessing spoken of is not a sudden windfall, but a reflection of readiness cultivated within. Shaolin wisdom reminds us that calm awareness, disciplined effort, and personal responsibility are the true keys that open every door. When the mind is trained, even small actions fall into alignment, and life responds with natural ease. Wealth, opportunity, and stability do not arrive through luck, but through the quiet mastery of thought, habit, and intention. Each moment becomes a chance to practice presence, patience, and mindful decision-making. By bringing awareness into daily choices, how you act, spend, save, or commit, you begin to shape your life from the inside out. Start small, remain consistent, and let discipline guide your steps. Over time, the compounding effects of clarity and alignment reveal themselves in ways that feel effortless yet profound. Take these lessons into your day, observe your habits, and notice how life begins to respond when your mind and actions are steady. If this message resonates, join us on this path of mastery by liking this video and subscribing to Hung Yi Chronicles, where ancient wisdom meets modern life, helping you transform ordinary moments into a life of insight, calm, and lasting abundance.